What is the most important relationship skills? Hi, I'm Magda Kay and welcome to this channel. I am intimacy expert, tantra teacher, and a relationships coach. And here you're gonna find all the tips, insights, and practices to develop the most fulfilling and satisfying intimate relationships, starting with yourself, with other people, and with life itself. So last week we spoke about how to choose the right person, and I promised you that I will cover what the important relationship skills are so that you know specifically what to look for in a potential partner and also what to develop in yourself, because you do contribute to 50% of the relationship. So today I want to speak to you about the most important relationship skill. And this is an absolute must. This is the foundation. It's a non-negotiable. Without this, no matter how much chemistry you have, how compatible you may be, the relationship will fail. And that important thing is being a team player. Now that is important in three ways for a relationship. The first one is that team players understand that in a relationship, the only win situation is when both of you win. There is no such a thing win-lose, because if one person wins and one loses, the relationship loses, and so really both of you lose. But this is actually really important, and it's something that people really struggle with, because we all have all of these wounds and fears and unmet needs. So what happens often in relationships is that we experience a conflict of needs, and it seems like my needs and my partner's needs are in opposition. So now my partner becomes my enemy because they mean that I cannot meet my needs. And so we start fighting our partner because we are trying to prioritize ourselves and our needs, our well-being. So if someone is a team player, they have the ability to understand that even if on the surface level it looks like we're enemies, we're not. They understand that in long term, they're actually gonna lose if they keep fighting for themselves, right? If they keep winning small battles, over the time they're actually losing the war. So someone who's not a team player, they're gonna very easily go into this reactive space, fight against you. As long as their needs are met, they're satisfied, right? And eventually kill the relationship with that. But someone who is a team player, they will have the ability to dig deeper and understand that when you go deeper, you're actually going to realize that in most cases, the needs are not mutually exclusive, so you can be creative to find a solution that will take care of both of you. But that's something that takes a bit of energy and some commitment. And so it really does take a team player to want to invest in this process to do this. So that's the first thing. A team player doesn't treat you like the enemy. And trust me, if you've ever been on the receiving end of that behavior, it's really painful. Like when you love someone and they think you're out there to get them, and then they push you away and they push your love and caring away, it's honestly painful. And look, probably this may not be happening all the time, but it's enough this happens here and there to eventually destroy the relationship. It's the famous death by a million cuts. So now let's go to the second aspect of why being a team player is so important. So think of watching a football game, and the whole concept of this game is that there is a team and people are doing everything together. So you gotta pass the ball until you score. Now, there are some players who can be extremely selfish, right? It's all about them wanting to shine during the game and not being so concerned about the team. Now, notice what happens. If there's any player who's so focused on themselves, basically what they're doing is they're willing to risk the success of the team for their own egoistical benefit. So if we look at it in an intimate relationship, it's really the same dynamic. A team player will never put their own benefits above the benefits of the relationship. In other words, they will not potentially sacrifice the happiness and the health of the relationship just because they want something. A team player understands that you have way more fun and it's way more fulfilling when you get to the finish line together, right? So it's not about going as fast as possible and accomplish everything on your own. It's about going through this path together. And in practical terms, what it means is that sometimes we gotta wait for each other. Now think about it. When you meet your person, you're like in the same place, right? You're so compatible, you seem to share life visions, but when you're together, after a few years, you start kind of going in different directions, and one of you is faster and someone is still trying to figure some basics. And it's a skill in a relationship to understand that and wait for the partner. Sometimes I'm gonna be faster than you. Other times, you're gonna be faster than me. But in these moments of discrepancies, I'm not gonna just leave you behind, I'm waiting for you. Because ultimately what matters to a team player is the success of the team, meaning your relationship. So now the third aspect, which is so important for a relationship to work, and only a team player is able to show up correctly. This concept is called price of admission. And it basically states that there is a price to everything. Anytime we choose one thing, there is a trade-off. So think, for example, you're going for a concert, you're buying a ticket, right? So the price of the ticket is your price of admission to enjoy the concert. A relationship has its own price of admission like anything else. Now, if someone is not a team player, they will often perceive a relationship to be an obstacle to getting what they want. Right? It's like, I want something, I have my needs, and the relationship or my partner is literally not allowing me to do what I want. And they're so focused on this, right? On this price that they have to pay because they don't want to pay this price, that they end up resisting their partner or the relationship itself and eventually sabotage it. Now, a team player works a bit differently. A team player understands the principle of the trade-off. They know there is a price to pay in a relationship and they have no issue around it. It's like, when I go for coffee, I know I'll have to pay this, $2 to get a coffee. It doesn't happen that I go to the cafe and then make a scene triggered and resisting the fact that I have to pay for my coffee. Like, this is the price, that's the experience that I want, and I am just willing to pay it. It's like, it's not a big deal. It doesn't trigger me that I have to pay for my coffee. So a true team player understands this dynamic in a relationship. So anytime they have a price to pay for being in a relationship, it's neutral for them just as paying these $2 for a coffee. Okay? So they're not going to resist the relationship. They're not going to hate the relationship because they have to pay the price for being in it. This is why being a team player is the most important skill for being in a relationship. Now, next week, I'm going to share with you more relationship skills. In fact, I'm going to give you 7 skills to look for in a potential partner. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, these are also the things that you want to look at yourself. So, coming back to being a team player, yes, look for someone who has the ability to be a team player, but also check in with yourself. Are you a team player? Because it takes both for the team to work. Like, this whole concept of being a team does not work if one of you is a team player and the other one is not. So look at the potential partner and always check in with yourself. How are you showing up? So my love, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'd love to hear in the comments below, like, do you consider yourself a team player? And where are you showing up this skill very well? And where maybe you feel like you could work on it a little bit more? Now, make sure please to like this video if you liked it, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you want to get the next video where I'm going to reveal to you 7 relationship skills to look for. Thank you so much for checking in this video. I'll see you next week.